Thanks very much, everybody, for joining me once again. Saj Sadek here. But a lot of people asking me why Pakistan is falling so far behind Indian cricket, both on and off the field. And I thought it'd be a good opportunity to discuss some of the areas that I think Pakistan cricket, the PCB, the players, officials, etc., can take from Indian cricket and improve itself, really. And just basically look at where Indian cricket is going upwards and Pakistan cricket is unfortunately going downwards. Um, we saw a fantastic T20 World Cup final, and I think India were deserving winners. Any team that can go through a tournament undefeated deserve to win that tournament. I think India have played a fantastic brand of cricket. The all-round strength in depth. They're not relying on the same players match after match. Players stepped up to the plate when it was needed, and players, some of them performed above expectations, and that's how you win tournaments, really. Consistency, player performance, and self-belief as well. I think we'll come on to some of those points shortly, but I think first and foremost, I want to congratulate India for a fantastic win. And as I say, they were deserving winners, but I also want to congratulate South Africa for, well, I mean, they won all the matches apart from that one against India in the final. And if it wasn't for those last 3 or 4 overs against India, then who knows, South Africa might have won that tournament and their first World Cup trophy. I think South Africa will probably look back and think they got it all, well, horribly wrong in those last 3, 4 overs because they just succumbed to the pressure and, they weren't scoring runs. The tactics just seemed to be all over the place. And I think once Klassen was out, then I think the match was only going to head one way. But that's taking nothing away from those Indian bowlers, especially in those last 3 overs from Bumrah, Arshdeep and Hardik Pandya. So, I mean, comparing Indian cricket to Pakistan cricket at the moment and where Pakistan cricket is going wrong and what lessons they can learn from Indian cricket, the players, the coaches, the BCCI as well. I think first and foremost, the key word is stability. You've got stability in selection, you've got stability in captaincy, stability in the coaching staff, and stability in domestic cricket. The structure is there, the leadership is there. Unfortunately, with Pakistan cricket, on the other hand, it's just chaos, isn't it? The new chairman comes in, it's change after change after change. We're seeing captaincy changes, we're seeing coaching changes. And, since this World Cup debacle for Pakistan, I've spoken with many former and current players, and they all mentioned this word stability, that nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. Today, you might be in the squad. Today, you might be a domestic coach. You might be a physio. You might be a ground staff. Tomorrow, you might be shown the door and somebody else comes in. So I think Pakistan cricket needs to stabilise. It needs a period of stability if it is to go forward, because this constant changes, this upheaval is not serving its purpose, and Pakistan cricket is falling way behind other teams in all formats because of this instability. We come on to leadership now. When I say leadership, I'm talking about the coaching staff, not just Rahul Dravid, but who's obviously retired as India head coach. He's done a fantastic job, cool, calm, collected individual, both as a player and as a coach, but it's all the people around him. He's had a stable unit. He's had those coaches working with him for many years. And as well as the coaching staff, there's the players as well. Most of the Indian players will have known that they would be part of this T20 World Cup squad well in advance of the tournament. Yes, there were 1 or 2 surprises, 1 or 2 where people thought, well, he should have been picked instead of this player. But 13 or 14 of those players in that Indian squad will have known for a long time that they would be part of this World Cup squad. So they will have been preparing physically, mentally as well. And this is where, again, Pakistan cricket falls down. We make these constant changes. Somebody does well in the PSL, has a couple of good innings or takes a few wickets, suddenly they're thrown in. And the guy who's been around for the last 3 years, who's been performing quite well, is shown the door. And this is another area that really Pakistan cricket needs to look at, is its selection policies and where they are going in terms of selection and the leadership as well. Do these constant changes of chief selector, management, board chairman, captaincy? I mean, which country gives a player, a leading player, one series and then says, "Sorry, but the guy who was the captain before you is now coming back"? It's absolute chaos and absolutely crazy. I think the belief in players, I've already mentioned that stability in selection, but I think the captain had belief in the players, the coaches and the selectors had belief in the Indian players, and they all had a role within that squad, that within that team. They all knew exactly what their role was. It might differ from match to match, from opponent to opponent, but by and large, their roles were clearly defined. Whereas in Pakistan cricket, your role is changing day to day. Your role is changing match to match. You might be batting at number 3 one match. Next match, you're batting at number 6. You might be opening one day and then suddenly you're down to number 3 or number 4. You might be opening the bowling one day. You might not even get a ball the other day. Yes, I understand that there will be changes. It's horses for courses. Depends on who the opposition is. But I'm afraid too many changes and this constant upheaval, these constant changes in Pakistan cricket, the lack of stability that I've mentioned before is hurting Pakistan cricket. You're selecting players, yes, if they perform terribly over a period of time, discard them, bring the next guy in, but give players a proper chance and don't just bring players in at the last minute. I look at the example of Usman Khan. He's had one good PSL, he's been brought in. Is that the right way to select players? I look at Azam Khan, who hasn't performed at all in T20 cricket for Pakistan, yet he was taken to the World Cup. I think most of us knew that he wasn't going to do anything, and he was very lucky to be selected. But our selection committee, the captain, and whoever else stood by him and selected him when it was a recipe for disaster. I've mentioned roles, and just to elaborate on that point, really, you look at the likes of Akshar Patel in the Indian lineup. He was given a role in quite a few of the matches for India that go out there, smash it around. Doesn't matter if you're out first ball, doesn't matter if you are out having scored 5 off 5 balls. Just go out there, do something different, give it a blast, unsettle the opposition captain, and unsettle the fielding lineup and the bowling lineup for the opposition. And that's exactly what he did. He did well in a number of matches, promoted up the order, which was a surprise to many. But again, it's that X factor. It's that being able to do something different tactically. It comes from leadership. It comes from the coaches. It comes from the think tank, the senior players, and it comes from a brave captain. Captaincy, just going to mention that as well. Rohit Sharma deserves a lot of praise for the way he captained India. He's an experienced guy. He rarely loses his cool. I think he had those game plans sorted for each opponent. And, I say that X factor, he always had something different up his sleeve and he knew exactly which bowler to bowl when. Yeah, it doesn't always go right in every match. But, I mean, look at the final when he brought on Bumrah for the 18th over. I could think of one or two captains who probably would have thought, no, I'll keep Bumrah for the 20th over. I need him bowling that last over. Instead, Sharma knew that he needed a wicket, he needed a big over from Bumrah, and that piled on the pressure for the 19th and 20th over, made the jobs of Arshdeep and Hardik Pandya a little bit easier. And again, I think the Pakistan captain can learn from this. We seem to go into every match with a plan A, or we need to set this target, or we want this opposition to set this target. No, you need to think out the box. And it's interesting that Rohit Sharma said that I don't tell my team, I don't tell my batsmen what the target we should go for. Whereas Pakistan cricket seems to be a target-driven society, a target-driven setup that we must score 150, we must score 160. Rohit Sharma, on the other hand, doesn't even tell his players. He might have a target in mind, but he knows that they're all attacking batters. So why tell them, oh, we must score 160, 170? You're just adding pressure on to your team. There's a belief and support of the Indian players, which isn't there in Pakistan cricket. I think the players are confident because they know that even if they have a few failures, they will be supported, they will be selected, they will play the next match. Virat Kohli, an example there, had a disastrous tournament, came good in the final. Yeah, it would have been a big call to drop Virat Kohli, but regardless, I think the Indian team or the starting 11 in this tournament was by and large pretty much the same. You knew which 11 players were going to be picked match to match. There were no surprises. It's support, it's belief in and trust in those players. Again, Pakistan, one or two bad performances, you're out the door. One or two bad performances, you're out the squad. You come in, you might play one match, you have a bad match, and you're out again. As I was saying before, you might bat the top order, and next match you might be batting a number 4 or 5. No continuation, no stability. Yeah, experimentation and the surprise element, as I was saying, Axar Patel in this tournament, and there was plenty of other examples where Rohit Sharma experimented, he surprised the opposition. In Pakistan cricket, there is no surprise element. You more or less know which bowler will bowl when, which batter will bat when, and it's easy for the opposition. It's like, thank you very much, we'll have some of that, and we've prepared for this. There's no surprises, and that's exactly what we expected, and we'll take that brand of cricket. I've touched upon it already, but the Indian side play a fantastic brand of cricket. It's aggressive. The batters, all of them go out there and they look to attack. Yes, Virat Kohli played a bit of an anchor role in the final, but that gave license to every one of the other batters to come in, whether you lose wickets or not. We saw on several occasions during the ICC Men's T20 World Cup that India lost early wickets, they struggled, but what they do is they attack. They continue to attack. They continue to put the opposition under pressure. And for any opposition captain, you've taken 2-3 wickets, you might think, oh, you're going to get 1 or 2 cheap overs in where they'll look to rebuild. No, that doesn't happen with this Indian team. Whereas the likes of Pakistan, the brand of cricket they are playing is aged. It's out of date. Yes, I'm not saying that Pakistan has the likes of Surya Kumar Yadav or Hardik Pandyas or Rohit Sharmas, these types of players, but the approach needs to be different. It needs to be more aggressive. And if they don't do that, then they're just going to keep on falling further and further behind the rest of the world. I mentioned Rohit Sharma. I think he was fantastic throughout the tournament. He was cool, calm, he backed his players, and the players had a lot of belief in his leadership as well. And he deserves a lot of credit. He's obviously stepping down from playing T20 cricket along with Virat Kohli. But it's a fantastic way to retire, isn't it? There you go. I've given my country the T20 World Cup and ICC first tournament win since 2013. So it's been a long 11-year wait for them. I think with Babar Azam, though, on the other hand, and he's been around a number of years, so there's no excuses for Babar Azam. He's not a new captain. He's captained at all levels. And by now, he should be leading from the front. By now, he should know what his players are capable of. He should know what his game plans are. But we come into every match looking confused, looking dazed, looking like we've got no alternative plans. It's like, this is the plan and I'm going to stick to it. There's no alternatives. There's no experimentation. There's very little out-of-the-box thinking. And this is absolutely crucial in T20 cricket. You've got to have a captain who thinks out of the box and has that surprise element in him. Mentioning Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli's retirements, I think we saw in Pakistan cricket when Misbah Yunus Khan retired, obviously a different format, but we struggled. I bet you now that Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli's retirements have been planned already. They will have informed the BCCI that regardless of whether we win the tournament or not, we are retiring at this time. Obviously, Rahul Dravid, it was known that he was going to step down as head coach as well. So the BCCI will have already prepared and planned. And yeah, I mean, a few names have been mentioned as head coach, but they'll have their fingers on the pulse and they'll be looking to bring the next man in. But in terms of Rohit and Virat, yep, they're opened in this tournament. But, you can guarantee that Indian cricket will have the next 2 openers lined up and ready to step in and replace Rohit and Virat. It might take a little while. It might be a bit of a bumpy road for those guys who are now going to be opening, but you can bet your bottom dollar that they will receive ample opportunity. They will receive backing from the players, from the management, from the new coach, and from the board to succeed. Whereas in Pakistan cricket, a new player comes in, he's expected to perform straight away. That just adds to pressure, it builds the pressure, and more often than not, these guys just crumble. Quite a few lessons for the Pakistan Cricket Board and Pakistan cricket in general to learn from Indian cricket, I think. And this T20 World Cup should have been an eye-opener for Pakistan cricket, for the PCB, in how to, first and foremost, how to select players, how to rotate a squad, how a team should be captained, how a team should be coached, how you prepare for a tournament, and how for many years you build up to playing in a ICC tournament rather than leaving everything to chance and leaving everything to the last minute and altering your plans last minute and hoping rather than believing that things will go well. I hope Pakistan cricket wakes up and smells the coffee. I hope the players look at this approach from the Indian team and many other teams in this tournament and change for the better. And I hope that the Pakistan Cricket Board management have belief in the likes of Gary Kirsten and give him the opportunity to change Pakistan cricket, white ball cricket for the better. Because I think the way things are heading, Pakistan cricket is in a state of turmoil. And unfortunately, it's going to take some tough decisions to turn things around. Thanks very much for watching. Take care.